Good morning, everyone. I would like to express my heartfelt congratulations remotely on the successful completion of the April monthly service at Dendocho. I am very honored that I've been appointed to deliver today's monthly service sermon. I ask for your kind attention for a little while. When I was appointed to deliver the sermon today by the bishop several months ago, I instantly thought, what timing? It's an amazing timing because we're in the midst of the 3-year, 1,000-day activity period for the 90th anniversary of Dendocho. Also, only 34 days until the anniversary of my supervising church, Honjima Grand Church. Honestly, I have never loved speaking in public, but this time I felt positive about it, thinking it's a great opportunity and very meaningful for me to complete my duty, especially during this seasonable time. Anyway, at the end of last year, while I was driving alone, I got in a car accident. I was hit pretty hard on the driver's side door, and the car got completely totaled. The impact of the accident was really strong, but the other driver and I both came away without any injuries. It was a street that I usually drive, but I became impatient being in the traffic. So I turned off from the main road, and that was when the accident happened. The first thing I realized and was relieved right after the accident was the other driver and I were both okay. And the next moment, I thought to myself, of course it happened. The reason why I instantly thought, of course it happened, was because it was meant to happen. I was clearly aware that I'd been using the mind of dust every single day around that time. The way I used the dust of the mind became my habit, and that eventually it became my temperament, and I had no control over replacing my mind. As a result, God gave me a direct warning. It's just like adjusting a lower back alignment. I felt like God corrected my mind as if God told me, can't you take a hint? I've been giving you messages over and over. You've got to open your eyes. Speaking of adjustments, I had a lingering back pain up until the accident. But the pain was completely gone immediately after the impact. I was so lucky, I got a free adjustment from the impact when the car hit me from the left side. When I told my wife how my pain went away, she said, "Oh, that's awesome. You should get hit by a car from the other side next time and get a complete adjustment," as he laughed at me. She's very funny. I have one more thing I would like to share since I'm off topic already. As I came home immediately after the accident, I regretfully told my wife about what just happened as I stood right next to the wrecked car with a front seat filled with airbags with pale face. The first thing she calmly said to me was, she's always calm, "What happened?" And a few seconds later, she says, "Well, why don't you go out fishing with that red car and refresh your mind? With a big smile. Obviously, I was really shocked from the accident, but her wild statement really calmed me down. I thought she would be upset, really upset. Well, once again, I was saved by her big heart and her sense of humor. In any case, I am grateful for the parental love of God for adjusting both my mind and my lower back. As I mentioned earlier, immediately after the accident, what happened to me that day made a clear sense to me. And at the same time, interestingly, I was glad that I got hit by a car. I guess I needed this accident. If the accident didn't happen, I can guarantee you that I would be using the same mind over and over without correcting it. I'm pretty sure that eventually a more serious problem could have happened to me down the road. Considering my personality, if I didn't follow Tenrikyo faith, I would completely regret what happened to me and said, dang, things haven't been good. I should have gone straight instead of turning because of the traffic jam. But thanks to my parents and thanks to the faith, I was instantly able to think it was natural that it happened and to have the mind of gratitude. This feeling was completely new to me, and I was very happy that I was able to feel this way. I was able to understand through my own experience the meaning of reducing a great misfortune to a small misfortune and a small misfortune to no misfortune at all. If you don't know the teaching, it's pretty common to think negatively and become more and more dissatisfied through the misfortunes that you encounter throughout your life. However, if you believe in Tenrikyo teachings, you know that you will receive a message from God the parent first. And if you keep on missing the messages, you will receive warnings from God. I was not only glad that I got into an accident, but also, for some reason, my mind even cleared as if I woke up from a bad dream. In fact, there were some signs from God before the accident. Minor injuries and situation that gave me a bit of a chill. But looking back, those signs were the messages from God. As a result, I received a warning through the accident by not being aware, or more like ignoring, series of messages from God I was receiving. In the Ofudesaki, we are taught, listen, there will be no help if your mind is in error. That is why I am giving you my care step by step. In Osashizu, we read, from just one mind, any kind of truth will appear daily. We can never expect what will happen to us in life. No matter how wealthy or physically strong you are, you simply can't control everything that happens to you. Our beloved son may get hit by a car on his way home from school. We may get our house broken into in the middle of the night. We are powerless. That's why we need to be protected by God the Parent. So it's important to always pay attention to the messages we receive from God. Ponder and make sure we are not accumulating the dust in our mind. It's also important to sweep away the dust of the mind through the seated service and through the administration of the Sazuke. Two out of the three sections of the seated service contain the word sweeping away evils, along with the hand movements with a sweeping motion. Likewise, the Sazuke, which opened up this path, also starts off by first sweeping away our own dust. I know I'm a bit behind, but thankfully I started to see the service differently from before. It's not just a daily event or meditation. I would like to share with you the ofudesaki that I read the evening I got in the car accident. I shall inform you of everything in advance. Make sure you will not be remorseful later. To God, who began this world, all things, whatever, are seen. Today, do not be off your guard, even to look aside. There is no knowing what will happen or when. The truth recorded by my writing brush, lo, it's seen. Your mind will be spirited. I was blown away. God cannot talk to us personally, but will definitely give you a message in various forms. In fact, I have a very similar experience in the past which I can never forget. 4 years ago, the day when the doctors told me that my wife has an incurable and severe systemic disease, I was devastated. I would like to share the ofudesaki verses I read that exact evening. However trying your condition may be, the parent will work to the utmost. Take heart. From now on, please be firmly convinced of the words of the parent. There is no need to worry. God spoke to me and said, hey, don't worry how tough the condition could be. I got your back. It may sound like a made-up story, but it's true. I felt 100% relieved from just a few verses of the ofudesaki. In my case, if things are not going well, I can get lots of the answers from the ofudesaki before thinking too much. I believe that is the voice of God. Moreover, how can we minimize accumulating dust in our minds? I think it is to settling deeply the mind of appreciation, which means to appreciate what we already have and take delight in the present circumstances you may be in. Let's think about this carefully. We can move our bodies. We have roof over our heads. We can drink water whenever we want. That's like 3 miracles right there. I know sometimes things are not that simple. I get depressed when I encounter unexpected challenges in life. But if we can take delight from whatever situations we may be in and realize how God has arranged these circumstances just right for each one of us, based on many factors that God only knows, I think we will be able to minimize the accumulation of the dust of the mind. In fact, I have a friend who is completely blind, but living a very happy life, more than anyone that I can think of. She says thanks to the toilet every time she flushes, as she puts her hands together towards the toilet. She thanks to the laundering machine after each use. It seems to me that she's just simply happy and grateful every day. She is very rich in spirit. On the other hand, I have another friend who is a nice person, exceptionally wealthy, living in a giant house. However, she never looks happy to me for some reason. I think it's extremely important to take delight in what we already have today. That is the basis of everything. The seed of prosperity. It all comes from our minds. In the divine directions, we are taught, take delight here, find joy over there. The truth of taking delight accords with the truth of heaven. If you take delight each day, such truth circulates. Finally, as you know, we are in the midst of the 3-year, 1,000-day pre-anniversary activity period toward the 90th anniversary of the mission headquarters in America. This is a great opportunity for us to grow more spiritually. In the divine directions, we are taught, just 50 years. You might not be able to take the path if I tell you to follow for 50 years or 30 years. I do not tell you to follow 20 years or 10, just 3 of the 10 years. I tell you to follow the path for just 1,000 days. I really thought these are very kind words of God. It says if you follow the divine model of Oyasama for 3 years out of 50 years she went through, it will be accepted as equivalent to 50 years. Also, one of the goals for spiritual maturity really struck my heart. It says, let's work for salvation of those close to us. The word close to us really resonated with me. Today, unlike before, it's a bit tricky to go missionary work and administer the sazuke to people. Thus, I really think now is the time to pay closer attention to our family, relatives, friends, neighbors, and those people who took care of us many, many years ago, which we may have probably forgotten. I think it is the time to focus on and make sure that those close to us are doing well instead of being lonely and depressed. Let us do what we can now. Thank you very much for your kind attention.